What's up guys, I'm back. It's been a tough past few weeks with exams and such, but I have so much planned for this summer. Anyways, a few days ago I had the opportunity to ride the kinda anticipated Pipeline the Surf Coaster for pass holder preview. I had very little expectations going into this as the layout looked tame and short, but that did not stop this coaster from blowing me away. Well, I'm explaining that today, obviously. Let's start with the appearance. The turquoise color is great, and I love that the vibrant colors of Pipeline are the first things you see when entering the park. It's also an overall amazing looking coaster by the elements. Like the corkscrew and first overbank look great. I know there isn't much to be done about this, but for an entrance coaster, Pipeline is quite hard to get to. You have to go close to the center of the park before going on a pathway that leads you close to the entrance where you originally were. I don't know, I just don't really like it. This creates an isolated area, however, which is amazing. There's surfing music which matches the theme of the coaster from a long way back, hyping you up for the ride. Not to mention the sand that surrounds the area. It's amazing theming for non-Universal and Disney. Even if it was on Universal and Disney standards, it would still be great theme. All of that aside, let's hop into the layout. So right out of the gate, see what I did there? The gate, there's like a gate there. Anyways, the first element is a launch, which as we know is very rare for a V&M, but this is just the tip of the rareness iceberg. The launch itself is fun, but not anything special. I mean, I guess it's unique since you're standing up. However, the Airtime helm makes this launch absolutely amazing. On a normal stand-up coaster, there is no possibility of airtime, but Pipeline is just a different situation. I wouldn't even call this airtime. Personally, I call it leg time, but for the sake of you all and familiarity, I'll call it that airtime. Why is it different, you might ask? Well, on Pipeline, the seats move up on these hills, and man, is it like nothing else I've experienced before. I would almost go as far as saying it's airtime on steroids. True ejector can't be touched though. Then you fly into this overbank, which is surprisingly intense. You wouldn't expect this to do much because of its shape, but I rate it, probably because it's a stand-up coaster. Coming out of it also gives some of that airtime too. The hill following the overbank gives one of the best moments of that airtime on the whole coaster. It's a very sustained moment of airtime, even more sustained than a lot of other airtime, which is saying a lot since the other airtime moments last longer than you might think. Coming out of the element gives some laterals, and while standing up, it's great. I've ridden Vortex, Green Lantern, and Riddler's Revenge before, and their laterals combined do not come close to this element. Then there's the iconic corkscrew. I say iconic because it's literally in every Pipeline thumbnail. Anyways, it's pretty alright. If you've experienced other stand-up coasters, it's basically the same thing. Then the coaster rises into a downward helix kind of thing. The pup coming into the helix truly saves the L. It's great, which being the least sustained moment of airtime on the ride, shows you how good this airtime is. The helix transitions into a nothing turnaround, which does nothing, as you might expect, but rolls into an amazing sustained moment of airtime. It's not intense at all since the train is traveling at a snail's pace, but still very fun. I think the turnaround could have been avoided if the helix wasn't and the initial rise turned into this hill. That makes any sense at all. Then there's a series of S-bends that don't do much except one pop of airtime into the brakes. Like I said before, I adore this coaster. If this is the first of the new model, then I cannot imagine how good some of the more intense models that will inevitably be coming in the future. Personally, I think this takes the number one at the park. I know there's a little bit of recency bias involved, but subjectively, I still think this is the best coaster in the park. That airtime is something that you can't experience on any other coaster out there, which is so unique and makes it more unique than Mako's floater and even Icebreaker's ejector. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you later.